And now our host, Stephen Lee Morris.
You win a refrigerator on the price of right. It comes with a wooden pallet, and you decide you want to give it away. So you put out an ad on Facebook Marketplace. One person, at least, starts asking all kinds of questions about this free wooden pallet. And you go, this is very odd. And with your sketch comedy background, you start to dramatize those conversations. You put them on TikTok, and they go viral in a series of TikTok performances. Chris Guerra, welcome to Animal Farm.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. We have, this is a story about accidents and the capriciousness of what turns out. You're trying to do something either meaningful or frivolous or fun for yourself, or for a reason that maybe you can fill us in on. And sometimes it goes nowhere. And sometimes you find yourself with 702,000 followers on TikTok, yes, which is what happened to you. So let's start with growing up in Orange County, which you did, and then you found yourself off Broadway in New York. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I grew up in Orange County, in Anaheim, right over there. Lived there for years and years and years and years. Then met my wife, and I wanted to be a video editor at the time. And she's like, no, you need to be an actor. And so I was like, no, I need a safe job, which is silly to think that any job is safe, because no job is safe, right? So she pushed me, and we moved to New York, and it took off. I went to school for musical theater at Pace University, and started doing Broadway, national tours, and lived there for 7 years, actually.
It just happened. You suddenly started doing, now come on. I mean, how many people go to New York and then they come out of New York and they said, well, it got a little dusty there, so I thought I'd come back.
Right. Well, I did do, youth theater starting at like age 16. I got into the theater game really late. I never had an interest for it. I for some reason thought it was just a bunch of people wearing tights, but that's ballet. So no, I did a little youth theater, did a little community theater, and then went to New York. But the reason why we left New York is my wife booked some pilots. And so we came back to stay in California just for a little bit. And at the time, my commercial agent, Stephanie Burns, said, you should take a groundlings class. It'll help you get more auditions.
So your wife is an actress? My
wife is an actress also.
And she was the one who told you should be an actor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm so glad I listened to her, because she's been right about everything. So, yeah. So,
you discovered the groundlings.
Discovered the groundlings, yes. And it sounds kind of cocky, but my whole thing was, the moment I don't pass, I'll stop taking classes. And I just kept passing. And then all of a sudden I fell in love with improv. I wasn't a writer. And all of a sudden I started writing sketch comedy, and I just kept going through the program. Mm-hmm. And several years later, I got asked to join the main company at the Groundlings. So now I'm part of the artistic director, and I run the theater with 25 other main company members. Mm-hmm. Happened.
Mm-hmm. So. Very interesting. So it's run as a collaborative in a way.
Yeah.
With a
we make decisions, we vote all together. So it's basically, normally a theater has one artistic director, right? That's the head of it, that makes all the artistic decisions. The main company is comprised of a max of 30 members, and we vote together and we discuss together. And it's hard to vote with that many people.
I would say so.
But it's great. It's great.
So I'm thinking you got 30.
Yeah.
And yet decisions get made.
Decisions get made. I mean, we have split up committees, and it's all a voting process, So sometimes you may want something, but the vote's not in your favor, and you just have to maybe pitch it again another time, So yeah, it surprisingly works. It's like a big family, though. When there's disagreements, it's just going to happen. But that's just how they've done it for years. So.
And you teach improv on Zoom.
I teach improv. Yes.
How can you possibly teach improv on Zoom?
So when the pandemic happened, and Groundling shut down, we started teaching online. And I at first thought that would be awful. And But I noticed that I was auditioning on Zoom all the time for commercials and TV. I was auditioning on Zoom. So my approach was, let's take improv for Zoom. Let's not try to pretend Zoom's not here. Let's play with using our space. Let's play with turning cameras on and off. Like, let's take these skills that we're going to learn in improv and apply it to Zoom, because that's what you're going to use in auditions on Zoom. So really, I was training people on camera improv, basically.
So
that's how I looked at it.
You're just using what's out there anyway. So it's really not that big of a departure, which is very different from theater when they're doing productions, and it is a different form.
I can't imagine doing a theater show on Zoom. That'd be difficult.
Yeah. Readings, it might be easier, but
right.
But you know, they make movies. So
yeah. And people love it.
Movies that plays. Yeah. So your career guidance counselor, your spouse, gave you another bit of advice about an incident that happened, and that's into the TikTok world. Can you go over that?
Yes. So I sold a palette on Facebook Marketplace. It was for free. And
you were selling it for free? You were giving it away?
Let me rephrase it. I was giving away a palette for free. I won a refrigerator on The Price is Right. They brought a palette and a refrigerator. And I was like, I got to get rid of this palette. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace. By the way, I was on Price is Right anyways. And I won, which is awesome. Okay, but I'm giving away a palette. The person responds with, how heavy is it? Why is there blue paint on it? Does it smell bad? What kind of wood is it? And they kept, I'm reading these questions like, it's a palette. It's free. There's nothing else to say. I show the conversation to my wife, Kelsey. And she goes, you need to go film this. You need to get on TikTok and film this. I didn't even have a TikTok account because in my mind, I'm like, TikTok's for like teenagers. Apparently it's not. So because I do sketch comedy, I have wigs. I have like 50 wigs. I'm not a serial killer. I just have wigs because I do comedy. I hop on TikTok. I film it. I play the other character with a wig, and I play myself and I reenact it. I post it and I go to bed. I posted at like 5 o'clock. I woke up to 1.5 million views on that video. And I was just shocked. And I was like, I guess I'm doing this now. And I have been doing it for about a year now, reenacting. People submit their nightmares via a form system called JotForm. They send it to me and I reenact them. I have so many in queue right now that I need to get through.
And are these spontaneously true conversations, or are these enacted conversations?
The dialogue is 100% true. It's 100% scripted, meaning I'm literally reading their screenshot of their conversation. Now, what I add is I might add chuckles or behavior where I go, you know what? It seems like it's this kind of person. This kind of person likes to point.
And then you enact both parties.
I do.
Using your wigs.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Pretty wild.
It's insane. And you now have 702,000 followers. Is this called Nightmares?
Yes. Facebook Marketplace Nightmares on TikTok. I also post some to my Instagram. But they've just taken off. And I think they've taken off mainly because they're relatable. We've all met an entitled person that's like, can you deliver this item to me? I live 1,000 miles away and I don't want to pay for gas. Or someone saying, asking too many questions about a free item. You're like, just take it. It's free. There's nothing else to say.
You can throw it out if you don't want.
You can throw it out. Yeah.
Or give it away on TikTok.
I know, exactly. I get people asking me now, they're like, can you now buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace, or do people recognize you? And no joke, people will recognize me. I'll sell something. They're like, how's it going? I'm like, do you want to buy this? They're like, you're that guy. I'm like, yeah. Do you want to buy this?
So that took off. What about the other side? And you didn't plan on it going, you weren't strategizing, oh, this is a huge, well, obviously your wife figured this has resonance.
Right. But she saw me laughing at it. And so, I teach students this in improv. I'm like, if you think something's funny, right? If you laugh at something, you should do that. lot of people are like, I don't know what I should do. I'm like, well, what do you enjoy doing? Well, that thing. Well, then do that thing. Like, so I thought this conversation was hilarious. So I posted it because I thought it was funny. And my wife thought it was funny. And it took off. So I didn't plan like, oh, I'm going to film it like this. I'm going to do this. I'd never even used TikTok. But it really speaks to if we're talking about humor, if you do what you think is funny, there's an audience for that. There really is. Some people might not enjoy it, but if you're laughing at something that you think is hilarious, there's an audience out there. I mean, one of my videos hit over 10 million views, which is insane overnight. So there's an audience for what you find is funny.
Yeah. Has it gone the other way, where you have been met with, you thought something was really funny, you put it out there and it was met with complete indifference?
Yes. So we can continue talking about TikTok. There has been some videos where I have laughed so hard at it and it didn't do as well. And so that's me though, basing it on views, a number. Well, a lot of people didn't watch it, so it's probably not funny, or it's probably not good. Not necessarily.
Yep. How you define success. Yeah.
People might be at work. You know what I mean? You can't base it on views. And then there's been times where I go, oh, this is not funny. I shouldn't post it. And I show it to my wife. She's like, you need to post. Always post, Chris. Because, again.
Because you won't know. You
won't know, right? So sometimes people want content, right? And if you're a funny person, you are having success, then you got to at some point stop judging yourself and just post it. Just make it. Because I've been hesitant about some and they've hit 8 million views. And I went, what?
Lessons for the year 2022 on how to engage with
people want content.
Something we all have to live with, which is social media.
Right.
Well, we don't have to live with it, but most of us, in order to have some kind of connection with a world larger than our own living rooms, we need to connect.
Right. Well, another reason too also is, why are you making these videos? If you're making it for other people, you're going to get burnt out, right?
Yeah.
But I make them because I laugh at them. I think they are funny. So I enjoy filming them. I have sometimes not posted for a week because I was tired and busy. And I'm like, I don't find these funny right now. And so my wife would say, still post, right? People want continuous content. But I will sometimes take a break and go, well, if I'm not laughing at this, I don't want to post it, because then I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't apply that to work. Like, I don't want to go to work today. But with this, it's a little bit different.
Well, this is very interesting. This is the capriciousness of how stuff gets responded to, but it's also down to the motives of creation, which is very consistent.
Yeah.
If you're putting something out there that's creative, it has to pass a litmus test first, which is your own nerve center.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've done years of sketch comedy and trying different characters, different types of humor. I have a sense of what works because I've done it in front of a live audience. And you find out very quickly if something's not funny. So because of the training I've got at the Groundlings and pitching sketches weekly and performing sketches weekly, only rehearsing them for 5 minutes. I mean, you're just throwing sketches at the wall when you are in the school, you're going through the process.
This is interesting. Yeah.
You start to learn why is this funny? It's consistent with any audience. What is it?
So give me some examples, maybe just to close out the show. Give me some examples of things that you have put out there that are simply not funny. Or maybe it's even stuff that you have not put out there that is simply not funny. How do you know? How do you know? Because the whole thing, is from your wife, is that you just don't know, post it. People want content. It doesn't matter whether people respond or not, just get it out there. And you're going, no, it has to mean something to me. So how do you know if something is, what is not funny? What has just not worked at all? What you thought was funny, it wasn't. And what is the definition of that?
Well, I think true humor is relatable. It doesn't need to be, it's nonverbal, right? It's something that people can relate to. I have noticed when I put out things that are not relatable, but it's something specific that I think is funny, if the audience can't connect to it, if it's not relatable, right, then they don't know what the joke is. So many times I've tried sketches where I'm like, oh, this is so funny. My kid did this one specific thing. I'm going to do that. I'm going to play that thing. It's so specific and unique that an audience maybe can't get on board with that. Mm-hmm. But if it's relatable, right? Like meaning, someone's frustrated standing in line. It's like, oh, we've all been there. Someone's trying to return an item and they're saying, sorry, you can't return this. Oh my gosh, we've all been there. A good example is Seinfeld, right? They're just all relatable things. I have found through the groundlings that if I focus on relatable comedy, it always works. It might not be insane laugh out loud, right? Meaning like it's a killer, it's the best sketch in the world. But if it's relatable, I feel the audience getting on board. So I try to make all my comedy just 100% relatable. And when I think something's funny and I'm not thinking about, wait, is it relatable? I notice the videos don't do as well. Mm-hmm. Or I notice my sketches don't do as well. They don't hit as hard. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's key.
Chris Guerra, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you enjoy Animal Farm, please support us on Patreon.